Hey, what's going on, you guys? I have another DC Mcfarlane multiverse review here. Uh, so let's get started. So it is the DC Mcfarlane multiverse gold label edition of Hourman. So here's the box. The side says Hourman with a little window. It says Hourman JSA. On the back, you got a classic picture of the original Hourman. And we'll take a look at the action figure here in a second, but we'll take a look at what he comes with, which is not much. These gold labels don't always, sometimes they don't seem to get a lot of accessories, but he comes with a basic Mcfarlane stand. And then, of course, he comes with the trading card. And it has a bio on the back that says, real name, Rex Tyler. Several heroes have taken the codename Hourman. The first was brilliant chemist Rex Tyler, who invented a vitamin he called Miraclo. It gave Rex superpowers, but only for 1 hour. Donning a distinctive cape and hooded costume, Rex was a founding member of the Justice Society of America. Unfortunately, he became addicted to Miraclo and was unable to develop a non-addictive version. Rex was almost killed by Time Warp and villain Extant during 0 Hour, but android Hourman Matthew Tyler switched places to save him. So, here is Hourman. I'll have to, hopefully I can get him standing so I can lower you guys down to get a look at him. Okay. Okay. So here is Hourman. Now, this is reusing a body of an action figure that I don't have because I forget the whole dilemma, but it was pretty much the wave was eventually made a Mcfarlane store exclusive wave, and the figure that I'm referring to is another JSA member, which is Spectre, which really sucks because I really would have liked Spectre. So, but this is Hourman. I do have some knowledge of him. I know some of the original stuff with Hourman, but I'm more familiar with, I think it's his son, I want to say. He's like the more modern Hourman. It's not the android, but it's a different one. I think it's his son or grandson. But for me, the suits are pretty similar. If they do make another Hourman that's comparable to the other one, then I'll probably get it because it is two different characters. But it's another member of the JSA, and as I have mentioned before in other reviews with JSA members, I really like the JSA. There's just something about him. On a side note, considering his powers, I do wish he came with, like a fist instead of like a gripping hand, because he's got nothing to grip for. It's nice to have the option, but with this type of character, he's going to be doing a lot of, fighting with his hands, so I feel like two fists would have been more appropriate. But Hourman is kind of actually one of my favorites of the JSA. He doesn't he's not like above like Hawkman for me or anything, but I for some reason I really like Hourman. So yeah, let's start with the head sculpt. Now, I know some people are saying that technically this mask should all be yellow. I think, is that what they're complaining about? I don't know. I've heard some complaints about the head sculpt because the hood, at least shown on here, is supposed to become the mask. Whereas this, in figure form, you can make it look like, right, if you press it down, it can kind of look like that. But it does look like he has a mask under the hood. And there are iterations of Hourman that way, so it still looks like Hourman. But I think what they were going for was they were trying to have the shading effect like you see on the card there. But, and granted, I don't know how that would have worked out, especially with articulation, and especially with the fact that the hood already restricts some articulation. Not really, but you'll see in a moment. So, I get what they were going for, but it still looks like Hourman to me. It just looks like he's got a different mask on. That's fine. For me, anyways. But yeah, so I am aware that, Mcfarlane is, losing the license by the end of the year. I think I covered my thoughts on what I'm going to do, going forward. There will probably be some McFarlane figures that'll get that maybe came out a little while ago or a long time ago that I missed, that I now have time to catch up on and review for you guys. But for the, we haven't seen any picture of what Mattel is going to do with the license. So, if they, if they make action figures that I like the look of and want, then I'll get some. But I don't know how dedicated I'm going to be as I am with McFarlane, because McFarlane has been my main DC line, because when Mattel had the line before, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, except for a few here and there. So anyways, not the point of this video. I just want to briefly mention that. But let's get back into the review. Like I said, he's got some texturing on the suit. You got the hour, the hourglass here. You got the red belt. It opens, and then you got these red and black boots. I have a little bit of scuffage on mine, but I think honestly it was when I was trying to get him out of the streams that are in the box. So I'm going to say that's a me problem. So there's some texturing on the back too. There's some texturing on the inside of the cape, and of course on the back. It is a very flexible cape. I do kind of wish that since, they've been able to do so many of the wired capes, that it was wired, because having it permanently in this motion is kind of weird in some poses, but it works. You even got a collar piece here. So yeah, I mean, very basic figure. There's not really anything that I have to complain about. It's more so, the only thing I would point out is I wish he had another fist. And that's it. So let's look at articulation. So the head can look up. It can look down. Well, it can. It's just kind of difficult because it's around in a hood. And it can look side to side, but again, you have the hood there. His arms move out like that, and it's got the dumbbell joint in there, and it can shift all around. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. So this one, yeah, there we go. That, and then a wrist swivel and a hinge. He's got a diaphragm joint that allows him to go that far forward, that far back. There's tilt, and he also has a lower diaphragm joint that allows him to do even more here and there. And then, of course, it swivels. His legs kick out that far. They kick back that far. They kick to the side about that far. They do actually have quite a bit of swivel action for a Mcfarlane figure. Double jointed knees. And then you got ankle goes down, goes up, moves side to side, and has rocker and toe articulation. So now let's get into some comparisons. And the only comparisons I'm going to be doing are with his fellow JSA, or with some of the JSA. So yeah, let's see if we can do this here. Sorry, it was getting blurry for you guys. So we'll do the easy ones first. So first off, see if I can, oh wow, it's not going to fit into frame. Okay. So I'm going to move this back. There we go. Okay, he's not perfectly flat on the ground, but there's that. So there's Jay Garrick Flash. I'm getting the next comparison up and ready, but Doesn't seem to want to stand. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Okay, well, I don't know how well he's going to stand. I'm having issues with him at the moment. But there's Commander Steel. Then we have one last one that doesn't take up a whole lot of room that I'm going to show. And that is, hopefully he will stand for me, please. And there is Atom Smasher. And then finally, this is where the interesting is going to come in. So I should probably move him over a bit. Okay, that's probably as best as we're going to get. And here he is. Just knew that something like that was going to happen. Okay, sorry about that, guys. It was weird cutaway, but okay, so there's the actual comparison, which is Hawkman. So yeah, take him out of here. Then we'll put the focus back on. Okay, and now you're not standing. That's weird. You were standing just a second ago. Really? I'm not having any luck, as you guys can tell, with any of the comparison shots here. So, come on. There we go. But yeah. So that is the review there, guys. If you enjoyed it, like, share, and subscribe. I don't know when the next one's going to be. There's quite a few action figures out right now that I need to review. So hopefully you will see some of those soon. But if you enjoy this, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.